Welcome to the travel guide for Sarasota, Florida, where the sand is like powder and the palm trees sway, and great views surround you both night and day. It's where the waters are calm and the banyan trees tower over beautiful trails and gardens of flowers. We're Jamie and Skylar, and in this video, we're going to show you the best things to do in Sarasota when you're not at the beach. Whether you enjoy drinks and dining, parks and gardens, music and dancing, or pure relaxation, this video's got something for you. And make sure you stick around to the end to find out where you can find these amazing rooftop views without paying for a hotel or parking. We've got a whole lot to show you, so let's get this episode started.
Good morning and welcome back to Explorcation. We are here in downtown Sarasota, just a couple blocks away from the Saturday morning market.
But since we took you to the market in our last Sarasota video, we're starting off this episode at one of the best spots downtown to grab breakfast and coffee.
Our breakfast and coffee spot took us to 1359 Main Street, where you'll find the downtown location of Course Bakery. We were immediately impressed with the warm and welcoming atmosphere, along with beautifully displayed selections of cookies, muffins, cakes, and European pastries. And while we were expecting Of Course to offer a great selection of European baked goods, we weren't expecting to find freshly roasted coffee beans and fresh squeezed orange juice. Of Course was quite busy on this Saturday morning in May, and we were lucky to find an open table outside to enjoy our selection of baked goods and coffees.
So this is a European bakery. The owners are from Ukraine, and we wanted to try a variety of items. So we have a strawberry croissant, a raspberry rugelach, a peach strudel, and a honey ball, along with a latte and a freddo cappuccino. It has a nice strong coffee flavor. I really like it. It's simple.
Ooh, I like that. It's strong and not sweet at all, which is exactly how I like it. And it's cold. All right, you got 4 options. What are you gonna try first?
Probably the strawberry croissant.
All right. There's cream cheese in it too, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but it looks really good.
Would you get it again?
Yeah, the outside is nice and crispy, but the inside is creamy. Very good.
All right, try that arugula.
I think this is something completely new for us. I don't think either of us have tried one of these before. So
Or knew how to pronounce it.
I know, we had to ask the staff.
You like it?
I do. There's a lot of cinnamon in it. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's very good.
Is it more like a cake or a cookie?
I would say neither. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but you should try it.
All right. You're right, that is neither cake or cookie, but it's delicious. Now this is gonna be crumbly, I think. So the outside is very crunchy, but it's very light. It just kind of like melts in your mouth. It is great. Last but not least, the honey ball. I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely wasn't this. It's really good though. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, the consistency is not what I expected. It is very soft. I would say it's kind of like a soft cookie dough texture.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's very good.
All right, so now that you've tried them all, what's your favorite?
That is really hard because all 4 of those items were really good. But I think I would have to go with the honey ball because I've never had anything like that before, and it was a good level of sweet for me.
And I'm pretty much the opposite of Jamie. I don't love things that are overly sweet, although I did still enjoy that honey ball. I think my favorite thing had to be the peach strudel. So if you've followed our channel for a while now, you'll know that we've taken you to a lot of great bakeries and also some really great coffee shops where they roast their own beans. But I think this is the first time that we've gone to a spot that does both really well. So whether you're a coffee lover, a pastry lover, or both, you'll definitely want to check out Of Course.
After a great start to the morning, it was time to move on to our second stop of the day, and that would take us just over a mile to the north, where at 655 North Tamiami, you'll find the brand new Bay Park. And we do have to give a big thank you to one of our amazing viewers for bringing this new Sarasota gem to our attention.
So we're here at the Blue Pagoda Welcome Center. I think we're going to make our way towards the Mangrove Walkway. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to do in this new park.
It only took us a couple minutes of walking through the Bay Park before we had our first animal sighting in this great egret. It soon left the path for a nearby pond, which is where we also spotted this turtle. And right next to the pond, we found this beautiful flowering tree and a bench to relax and take in this gorgeous view. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and let us know if you've visited Sarasota in the comments. And if you haven't visited yet but have plans to in the future, be sure to let us know about that as well.
All the wooden pathways have some really cool carvings, including some education about the area.
We found all the pathways in this brand new park to be in nothing short of perfect condition, and the landscaping to be meticulously maintained.
So I think my favorite part about this park so far is that it is full of native wildflowers, and they definitely attract the butterflies and the bees. So as this name suggests, this park is on the bay, so let's go check out the view of the water.
While we make our way to the water, we should mention that this brand new park is absolutely free to visit and also offers a variety of free events and activities almost daily. You can find the event calendar at thebaysarasota.org.
We are really enjoying this spot here on the water because even though it's already over 80 degrees here, there is a nice cool breeze blowing in off the bay, and you also got some really nice views of both Lido Key and Longboat Key.
While we show you some more of this park, we want to note that as of spring of 2023, only the first 14-acre phase of the Bay Park redevelopment project has been completed. The master plan would transform an additional 39 acres of bayfront property over multiple phases, and phase 2 of the master plan was recently approved in September of 2022.
So I think you can paddle through this mangrove area out to the bay. There's also a playground at this park, and it is so unique.
And right next to the playground, you'll find a nice picnic area to avoid the sun and a sandy beach area to enjoy it. Our third day one stop took us another 3.5 miles to the north, where at 5401 Bayshore Road, you'll find the John and Mabel Ringling Museum of Art.
We are at the Bayfront Gardens at the Ringling Museum, and you can access this for only $5. Now, if you're interested in visiting the circus or the art museums, those are going to cost you a little bit extra, as well as visiting the mansion. But we have so much more that we want to show you today. We only have a limited time to be here, and for only $5 though, I can tell that this is already going to be worth it.
Before we show you the gardens, we should mention that you'll find the main entrance at the McKay's Visitor Pavilion, which is also where you can find the Glass Pavilion, which is absolutely free and definitely worth a visit. Within the McKay Visitors Pavilion, you can also find the Ringling Grill Room, the museum store, and even a Starbucks. Out in the garden, the first things that caught our attention were the trees, which included gorgeous flowering trees, majestic oak trees, and massive banyan trees.
I'm going through here.
All right.
It's safe to say that the banyan trees were easily Skylar's favorite part of the gardens, as wandering through these gigantic trees was an amazingly tranquil experience, and worth the $5 cost of admission on its own. But the banyan trees weren't the only thing that impressed us on this $5 garden tour, as I especially enjoyed Mabel's Rose Garden, where we found hundreds of beautiful rose bushes in nearly every color imaginable.
The gardens are also along the bayfront, so you can see the water already over there, but don't worry, we'll take you there too.
While our $5 entry fee wouldn't allow us to tour the inside of the Cottazon Mansion, we'd still be able to view it close up from the outside. And while the massive 36,000 square foot residence is quite impressive from all directions, we found the west side of the property looking out over Sarasota Bay to be particularly remarkable. If you happen to be visiting Sarasota on a Monday, you can tour the Museum of Art and Bayfront Gardens for absolutely free. However, regular admission prices will still apply to the Cottazon.
So I just noticed that there's a staircase way up at the top there. I wonder if the mansion tour lets you get up to that level.
We both agreed we'd have to return to tour the Cottazon Mansion soon, but for now, we've got a whole lot more of Sarasota to show you. Our next stop takes us 6 miles to the south, where at 3550 South Osprey Avenue, you'll find Shakespeare's Craft Beer and Gastro Pub. As its name suggests, Shakespeare's does offer a good selection of beers, including one of Skylar's all-time favorites, Le Fin du Monde. But as good as the beers may be, it's the burgers that make this spot a can't miss. We especially enjoy the horseradish cheddar bacon and the caramelized onion brie. And on this day, they were both every bit as good as we remembered. And since they were both way too good to pick a favorite, we just gotta suggest that you try them both. Our fifth Sarasota stop takes us 2 miles back to the north, where at 1534 Mound Street, you'll find the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens.
Not even in the gardens yet, and it's already so pretty.
We made our way to the main entrance at the Dixon Pavilion, where Skylar purchased our tickets and I explored the gift shop.
So this is the current master plan of the Selby Gardens because it is under construction right now. You can also buy tea here from the gardens. This is also really cool. They offer flower syrups here, including elderflower. Oh, elderflower is delicious. Do you see this pathway?
Looks pretty.
In a day that had already been full of beauty, we soon discovered we were in the most beautiful spot yet.
So the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens closes at 5 o'clock and we didn't get here till 4. That only gives us 1 hour here, which is definitely not enough time to explore the entire property, but that's okay because we purchased a season pass which allows us to come back to this property for free and also to the sister property in South Sarasota that we're actually going to take you to later in this video.
It also gives us reciprocal access to over 300 gardens across the US and Canada. And because we plan to do a lot of traveling over the next year, we are definitely going to get our money's worth.
But on this day, we had just 60 minutes to pack in as much as possible, so we started with a quick trip to the butterfly garden.
Now this is an active butterfly garden. I'm not sure if we're capturing them on video. There are so many flying around. It's really pretty. Skylar is trying to catch the butterflies. They are all over the place. Skylar is getting our money butterfly shot there.
Right next to the butterfly garden, visitors can find the Payne Mansion, which through June of 2023 will showcase the artistry of Louis Comfort Tiffany, including his stunning stained glass windows and lamps.
We just left the Payne house and we weren't able to film inside. The exhibits there do change. Right now there is one with stained glass. We were able to see this gorgeous stained glass window. It is really cool to see in person. And then they also had a whole bunch of stained glass lamps. So if you do have a chance to step inside, it's worth a visit.
With only around a half hour left to explore, we made our way south along Sarasota Bay, where we found all sorts of beautiful native Florida vegetation and a stunning wedding venue.
We're gonna stick around for the wedding?
No, we don't got time today.
If you're still enjoying this video and want to explore much more of Florida's Gulf Coast and beyond, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on so you won't miss any future episodes.
So when we visited the Payne house, we learned that some of the exhibits in the garden are actually inspired by the artwork in the Payne house. So you can really see it here in the stained glass flowers that are up above. And what's really cool about it is that the sun shines through and you can see them on the ground.
While you're surrounded by beauty no matter where you are in these gardens, it was this little gazebo filled with vibrant flowers and stained glass that was perhaps the prettiest of them all.
The stained glass trees actually match up to the trees in the background. Very cool.
So our hour here at the gardens is almost up. Jamie ran ahead to get something from the gift shop before they closed, and I think we did actually see the majority of these gardens, but we'll definitely come back when we have a little bit more time. I think we're gonna go grab some beers next. It's hot today, so some cold beers sound amazing.
Now by the time this episode posts, it's probably gonna be a week after Mother's Day, but we did wanna say Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. Now I couldn't leave the Botanical Gardens without getting a Mother's Day gift. This is an air plant and a nautilus shell for my mom.
At this point, we were both hot and ready for some cold drinks and knew just the place to get them, but not before making one quick detour to check out a brand new feature to downtown Sarasota.
So after walking around the gardens for about an hour, we are still pretty stuffed from those giant burgers. So we are here at the Legacy Trail to try to get in some exercise and make some room for our dinner spot, which you are not going to want to miss because it is a really cool place in downtown Sarasota.
Now, the Legacy Trail did exist when we lived in Sarasota, and we did ride it a few times and really enjoyed it. But one of our main complaints about the trail was that it did not connect with downtown Sarasota. But that has since changed as the trail runs all the way up to Fruitville Road, just a couple of blocks from downtown.
The Legacy Trail is open from 6 a.m. to sunset, has a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit, and does not allow motorized vehicles, but does allow e-bikes.
We're definitely going to be coming back with our e-bikes sometime. And it's only 18 miles to Venice, so that would be a fun day trip.
Our Saturday night spot for dinner and drinks took us just a few blocks west to the Burns Court neighborhood, where tucked away in a 1920s cottage, you'll find Owens Fish Camp.
I can already smell the food and it smells amazing. All right, we'll go around front.
While we weren't surprised to find a long wait to dine inside of this iconic old Florida seafood spot, we were pleased to find some open spots available in the wonderful backyard area. Here you'll find flame-grilled shrimp and oysters, ice-cold beers, beautiful oak trees, live music, and endless old Florida nostalgia. After cooling down with a couple of cold local beers, it was time to enjoy some fresh Florida seafood. Our order included 6 char-grilled oysters and some peel-and-eat shrimp, neither of which disappointed. The oysters were massive and came topped with jalapeno sauce, bacon, and butter. As you can probably tell, I definitely approved. The shrimp tasted fresh and were seasoned to perfection and came with a great cocktail sauce. Owens is open from 4 to 9:30 Sunday through Thursday and 4 to 10:30 on Friday and Saturday. Reservations are not accepted, so you may want to show up early if you don't want to wait.
Yeah. Are you gonna eat it or not? You're just gonna talk about how big it is.
Our 8th stop takes us around 6 miles to the east, where at 975 Cattleman Road, you'll find BigTop Brewing and Cock and Bull Live. While the atmosphere inside this old barn remains much the same as it has over the years, the massive outdoor patio and music garden has recently been completely transformed. Although the outdoor patio area does have its own bar, you'll find the biggest selection of beers inside, including those from both BigTop and its sister brewery, Naughty Monk. And after grabbing a Belgian strong ale for Skylar and a cherry marshmallow sour for myself, we were off to the patio to enjoy some live music. And like most bands that play at BigTop, the band on this night drew a good, fun-loving crowd. The music and beers were a great way to wrap up an adventurous first day in Sarasota, but we've still got 5 more spots to take you to, and you won't want to miss any of them.
Welcome back. We are starting today off in South Sarasota, and if you're visiting Sarasota on a Sunday like we are today, there's a good chance you'll find that many of the spots to get coffee are closed.
But thankfully, the best spot in South Sarasota to grab a coffee is open, and we can't wait to take you there.
Our first Day 2 stop takes us to the Coral Cove Mall, where at 7362 South Tamiami Trail, you'll find Palma Coffee. One of Sarasota's newest and most highly rated coffee shops, Palma is an independent coffee company that sources at origin and works directly with producers and exporters from around the world. We found Palma to be bright and clean with a bit of a retro tropical vibe, and to have the most welcoming owners who were eager to share their love for coffee. We also found a good selection of fresh pastries, but what we were most excited for, of course, was the coffee. We enjoyed browsing through the selection of vinyl while waiting for our coffee order, which we'd be enjoying on the front patio on this gorgeous Sunday morning. We were both quite impressed with the presentation of our drinks, which included a lecherita for Skylar and a mocha latte for me. And I just couldn't pass on this cinnamon roll, which was unlike any cinnamon roll that I'd ever seen.
So this is a croissant-like cinnamon roll. Very flaky.
Better than your typical cinnamon roll?
It's got like the flavor of a cinnamon roll, but it's a lot lighter, so I think I really like it.
While the cinnamon roll was quite delicious, the thing that impressed me most about Palma was this mocha latte. And while not a big fan of mocha, Skylar did enjoy the latte as well, but his favorite was easily the lecherita, which while not quite as pretty, did taste best stirred up.
Better?
It's even better, yeah.
But still strong, creamy, and cinnamon.
Yeah, you should try it. It's extremely good, right?
Yeah, that's very good.
Palma Coffee is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. Our second day 2 stop took us 4 miles to the south, where at 401 North Tamiami Trail, you'll find the historic Spanish Point campus of the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens. And while technically in Osprey and not Sarasota, this campus is less than a mile from the border. And as we promised you earlier, we're gonna show it to you.
So this campus is over 30 acres. There is a ton to see. I think we're gonna start off by heading towards the lychee fields and the butterfly garden. Oh, I think we found the butterfly garden. We should go check it out. So this butterfly garden has an open air and an enclosed area, and we've heard some really great things about this garden, so let's go see if we can find some butterflies.
We started our tour of the butterfly gardens in the open air section, which was full of beautiful flowers. And although we did spot a few butterflies in this area, we were pretty sure that we'd find many more in the enclosed section.
Look at all of these butterflies. And there's such a variety of them too. Skylar already making friends in the butterfly garden. All the different kinds of butterflies that are in here. So that Gulf fritillary, I don't think I've seen those before.
We counted at least 8 different types of butterflies and agreed that this was easily the most butterflies we'd seen in a single spot. Back on the trail, it was starting to heat up and we were ready to find some AC or at least some shade, but it didn't take long until we reached the Guptill house, which provided the cool down we were looking for and a lot more.
You can feel that breeze off the bay now. Nice and cool.
After some time enjoying the cool breeze and the beautiful waterfront view, we decided to check out the inside of the house. We found the house to be incredibly well maintained and to offer surprisingly spacious rooms for a house built in 1901. But we did find one thing to be missing, a kitchen, which we learned was in its own separate building and not uncommon for Florida homes of this era. Back outside, we decided to take a few minutes to relax on the scenic front porch before making our way down to the dock to take in the views of Sarasota Bay. While we make our way down to the water, we want to know what your favorite spot is to enjoy nature. Is it a beach, a garden, a park, or somewhere else? Be sure to let us know in the comments. While the view was great, we still had the majority of this 30-acre property left to explore, so we couldn't enjoy it for too long.
While you're out here exploring the gardens at Spanish Point, we definitely would recommend stopping by the Guptill house. It's a really cool house built in the early 1900s with a ton of history, and it's also a great way to take a break from the heat because it is air conditioned.
Right next to the Guptill house, visitors can find another great spot to take in some views of the water at the window to the bay. And right next to that is the Palmer Aqueduct and Jungle Walk, where by simply pushing a button, you can release water through this aqueduct, which has been around for over 100 years.
Supposedly the gardens is watered by reclaimed water. Oh, look at it, it continues over here. All the way.
So is this where the water ends up after you push that button?
I think so, yeah. It comes all the way up there, down here.
So when we were at the downtown gardens yesterday, the workers there said that these gardens were going to be a completely different experience, and they weren't lying. This property has a lot more buildings, a lot more history, but also a lot of cool plants to look at as well. Now it's also much bigger like they said it would be, so we definitely recommend bringing your walking shoes.
Heading back towards the entrance of the property, you'll find the lawn and the classic portal, one of several spots at the gardens where you can view a new augmented reality exhibit via an app on your phone.
Oh, this one even has sound.
Really?
There's like 5 different displays, but you kind of have to get close to them to see them.
With much more to explore and little time to do it in, we made our way towards the far west end of the property, where visitors will find the White Cottage, a great spot to cool down, use the restroom, or even purchase some concessions. Just past the White Cottage, you'll find the Window to the Past, an archaeological exhibition featuring dioramas and interactive displays. It's at this end of the property that you'll also find some more great lookout points.
Now this area of the trail has a really nice view of the bay and also Casey Key. So if you've made it all the way down to Osprey, you might as well head over to Casey Key, whether it is to see the beach or to drive through and see all the $1 million mansions. But if you're not quite sold on heading over to Casey Key, we would recommend watching this episode after this video. We'll make sure to put a link in the description below.
Another spot that's definitely worth visiting is the Sunken Garden and Pergola, a beautiful formal garden area and a popular spot for weddings.
This place is beautiful, but it is a lot of walking, and I am getting hungry, so I think we are about ready to head out. So this is the third path that you can go down to Mary's Chapel and also the packing house, but we do not have time for that today, so you'll just have to come here and check it out for yourself.
Our day 2 lunch spot takes us around 6 miles back to the north, where at 5758 South Tamiami Trail, you'll find Asan Thai. While our favorite thing about Asan Thai is without a doubt the amazing food, a close second has to be the ambiance. With traditional Thai art adorning the walls and Thai music playing on the speakers, you just might actually feel like you're in Thailand. Asan Thai's menu offers a variety of vegan and vegetarian dishes, rice and noodle dishes, soups and curry dishes, and chef specials. We started our order with Thai iced coffee, which was quite strong and also quite sweet. Next came our entrees, which included the Penang curry with chicken for Skylar and the vegetable pad see ew for me. Both dishes looked and smelled amazing and tasted even better, as we've grown to expect when visiting this fantastic Thai restaurant. And although the portions were quite large, so were our appetites, and we didn't leave a single scrap of food behind. Asan Thai is open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sundays. You can visit asanthai.com for hours.
We just left Asan Thai, and as usual, that food was amazing, and I'm not sure if you can tell from the footage, but the quantities were massive, which of course once again means we are stuffed and heading to another highly rated spot to burn off some calories and hopefully spot some gators.
With a delicious lunch behind us, it was time to get back out into nature, which took us around 14 miles to the east to Myakka River State Park. After paying the $6 per vehicle entrance fee, we were off to explore its 58 square miles of Florida wilderness. Our first stop in the park took us right around a mile from the State Road 72 entrance, where you'll find a bridge crossing over the Myakka River. And while the river itself is quite the beautiful sight, it's the residents of this river that draw the most attention.
So this bridge we're walking on right now is known to be a great spot for seeing gators, and I think we can already see one. And I think all the little things sticking out of the water on this side are gators.
But of course, the view from the bridge wasn't good enough for Skylar, as he had to go down to the shore for a bit of a closer look.
Gator number 1, gator number 2, and there's another one over there.
I can hear people on the other side talking about how big that gator was. He started going back into the water, but he's still pretty close to the banks over there. Oh, there's another gator down here. Right down there. He doesn't look near as big. So we've been out to this park probably like 5 or 6 times,
yeah.
But every single time we've seen gators in this area.
Yeah. There's always gators in that river.
Our next stop takes us another half mile to the east, where you'll find what used to be perhaps the most popular hiking trail in the park, the Canopy Walk.
Now the Canopy Walk Trail is usually very popular because it's quite shaded and it's also pretty short, but it was damaged by Hurricane Ian and it has not reopened yet. But when it does reopen, we would recommend taking that trail, especially if you're not afraid of heights, because it has got a really tall tower that gives you great views of the park, and there's also a suspended bridge that you can walk across. Now during our visit, the nature trail was open, which is pretty close to the Canopy Walk, so that's what we're on right now. Now, if the Canopy Trail is still closed when you visit, the Nature Trail is still a good trail to check out because it's got these gorgeous trees and also this bridge that you can cross.
I assume there's normally some water running under this bridge, or at least part of the time, but it's been pretty dry lately and it's just grass down below.
If you're less into hiking and more into canoeing, souvenir shopping, or just relaxing on a boat, then the spot for you is just a couple more miles down the road. Here on the banks of the upper Myakka Lake, you'll find the Myakka Outpost and the Myakka River Tours. If you're looking for a place to rent bicycles, buy some souvenirs, use the restroom, or cool down with some cold snacks and air conditioning, or even some craft beer, the Myakka Outpost is your place to be. We found the gift shop to be particularly impressive, with a huge variety of clothing, souvenirs, and all things alligators. But it was while we were in the gift shop that we learned about the park's unfortunate recent luck, which I'll tell you a bit about right now.
So we talked with the staff at the gift shop and they let us know that this place has had some really bad luck recently. So when Hurricane Ian rolled through, this whole area was underwater. The water actually rose to just under the gift shop, which is on the second floor. And then after that, the area did not get a lot of rain, so the water level started to go down so low to where these boat tours behind me, they haven't been able to run for a while. And even more recently, they've had to stop renting the kayaks and canoes because the water levels continue to decline. The staff also shared with us that there was a shipping container that was in front of the gift shop that ended up all the way over there. And it had some heavy equipment in it too.
And while the river was too low for the tour boats to navigate, the alligators were able to get around just fine.
How would you like to be in a kayak or a canoe right next to this guy? He's on a mission.
Our next mission had us heading another couple miles up the road, where on the east shore of Upper Myakka Lake, you'll find the Birdwalk.
So we made it to our last stop here at Myakka State Park, which is the Birdwalk. And this is actually our first time out on the Birdwalk, and it didn't take long to figure out how it got its name because you can see and hear birds everywhere. It's super peaceful and would have been a great way to wrap up this day in Sarasota, but we still got one more spot to take you for sunset, and with any luck, it's gonna be a great one.
Now before leaving this wonderful state park, we have a question for all you locals out there. Is it pronounced Myakka or Myakka? Let us know in the comments.
So we're getting ready to leave this park and we drove back over the bridge where the alligators normally are, and we spotted 2 wild hogs. Actually, I think there might be a baby too. I think there's 3 wild hogs. Okay, so I guess there's actually 3 babies. There's 5 hogs total. I didn't even know there were wild hogs in this park, so that was a really cool surprise.
You can see there's like a light brown little thing underneath the one on the right. It's a baby trying to eat. That one baby is trying to eat right now, and the other ones are back up a little farther away.
Our final stop of the day takes us all the way back to downtown, where at 100 Marina View Drive, you'll find the Westin Sarasota. And while we've never actually stayed in this 4-star hotel, we have visited on a few occasions, because on the roof of this 18-story high-rise, you'll find our favorite views in all of Sarasota at the Roof Bar and Eats. While we show you some of the amazing views, we do want to point out that the valet parking at the Westin is $40, but you can park for free just a block away in the public lot by the marina. While getting inside the actual hotel will require a bit of extra walking, we'd much rather have the extra $40 to spend on food and drinks. Speaking of food and drinks, we found a good selection of sandwiches, salads, shareables, and apps, as well as beer and liquors, wines, and cocktails. As you'd expect from a place with this type of atmosphere, the food and drinks are both a bit on the pricey side, but in our opinion, well worth it on vacation or a special occasion. After all, every drink tastes a little bit better with a sunset view over the water. As the sun went down, the city views became even more impressive. We decided to wrap up our weekend in Sarasota with an order of lobster sliders, which tasted amazing next to the fire. As we enjoy our dinner with a view, we want to know what spot from this video you'd be most excited about visiting. Let us know in the comments. While you can't skip the Westin Rooftop on your Sarasota vacation, you also can't skip a trip to Siesta Key. And you can see the best things to do there by clicking here right now. Thanks for watching!